Welcome, ladies. It's Carrie and Melissa here to discuss PMS, perimenopause, and menopause today. So thanks for joining us, Melissa. Glad to have you back.
Yay, thanks. Good to see you.
Yes, you too. Quick disclaimer, we're not medical doctors and not giving medical advice here. But as we discuss homeopathic remedies for many of the common hormonal issues that we deal with, we're not suggesting that you stop a prescription medication that you're currently taking. That's between you and your doctor. But lean in today, take notes, and share this with a friend because this is super important information that we're going to be sharing today. If you're new here, I'm Carrie, co-founder of TapRoots, your source for homeopathic remedies. And we have special guest Melissa Crenshaw, certified homeopath for over 20 years, as she continues helping families take control of their healthcare. So I have collected questions from our customers for you, Melissa. And these questions are questions that are asked on a daily basis in our shop. So I know we have some viewers on the edge of their seats just hoping their question gets asked and waiting for your answer.
Wonderful.
No pressure.
Yay. We'll see how I do.
Before we jump into the questions, Melissa, as infertility rates continue to climb faster and faster over these last couple of decades, what wisdom or hope could you just pass on to a young woman or even a mom of a teenage daughter who could be on the verge of going on the pill to regulate her cycle or clear up a skin issue?
Don't do it. So what I see very often in my practice is women in their 20s, 30s, even 40s come and they were on birth control methods to regulate their periods or for very heavy periods or for acne, and it worked, right? Because it did work. It stopped the symptoms and they thought they were better. They felt better. But what happens is years down the road, they have big deal issues with infertility, just libido, hormonal imbalances. It really destroys a lot of things in your health. And so, if you're dealing with any of those things, homeopathy can absolutely help you. And I would suggest that you seek the help of a qualified homeopath to help manage your case rather than go on synthetic hormones. Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. I'm so glad you shared that. And Melissa's website is melissacrenshaw.com. If you're new to all of this or new to Melissa, she does offer consultations. So if you're new to this and you listen to the questions and the answers and you feel lost, it's okay. We were all there once too.
That's right.
But Melissa's here. She's a qualified homeopath who can take your entire case and help you know exactly which remedies, potencies, frequencies, so that you can take the guessing out of that.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Melissa. We're going to jump into the questions we have from customers. And you're only going to want to watch this if you're a woman. So here we go with question one. This one comes from a woman 20 plus years past menopause with extreme dryness and itching of female genitalia. Her doctor's prescribing a steroid ointment, which she prefers nothing to do with steroids. She says being a type 2 diabetic, steroids horribly increase glucose.
So plus 20 years past menopause just kind of left me guessing, but I did kind of guess, okay, so she could probably be maybe 60 or possibly 70. But at any rate, at that age, it really is quite normal to be dry because we're not reproducing anymore. But I know that's not helpful. That's not what you want to happen. And so, but you should know that, right? That there are normal progressions in our lives that happen when we're not reproducing anymore. We're not supposed to be continuing to have children. Then that's what that's for. And so it stops. But, so in that case, rather than try to change hormones because they're actually doing what they're supposed to do at that point, I would use something like coconut oil or some other kind of lubricant for that part. But the itching is not normal and not okay, right? So you don't have to deal with itching. Itching is there's there's a lot of remedies for itching, but our main one, so where you could start would be something like Arsenicum album. You could even, I would try Arsenicum album by itself first, 200C, maybe twice a day. And you might combine that with Arsenicum and with Antimonium Crudum. And you could do that in a 6C or really any, a 200C would be okay too. But other itchy remedies are Urtica Urens, Apis, and Sulphur. So those are just some ideas for itchiness. But also we might want to know why, is there an infection? Is it yeast? Because if it's yeast, then there's this great Yeastaway product that y'all have there.
Yeah.
Then you would want to do that. If it's, if it's hormone related, then we might want to dig deeper into the hormones, and figure out what's happening there. But just to start out, Arsenicum album is a great place to start.
Okay, so just for a little clarity on the Arsenicum album, and if they mix it with Antimonium Crud or not, either way, would you say they're giving this the 4-dose rule before switching it to Urtica Urens or one of the other remedies you mentioned?
I think it depends on how long it's been around. Yes, if it's brand new, like it just started in the last few days or a week or so, then I would give it 24 hours. The 4-dose rule is nice to help keep you in a lane so you don't overdo it. But I really like to do 24 hours of a remedy because we have to give it time to act. And I don't mean every 15 minutes for 24 hours.
Right.
I mean, every few hours, 3 or 4 times a day, and for 24 hours, and then see what's happening. And then switch if you're seeing no difference.
Okay, great. The second question is a lot summed into one because we had numerous questions on menopause, all the symptoms ranging from, the sudden hot flashes, the random brain fog, weight gain, tiredness, all of the things going on during that stage of life. What would you say?
So menopause, the main remedy for menopause and hot flashes is Lachesis. Also, ammonium carb is a big remedy for that. So you could just try one or the other, or go to your Materia Medica and read about Lachesis or and ammonium carb and figure out which one fits your picture the best. Pulsatilla. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you typically use a 200 in either of those?
Yes, I like yes, the Lachesis 200 and ammonium carb 200.
Okay.
Would be good for that. Pulsatilla or Sepia could also be considered. So we often think of Pulsatilla in young girls, but it's a great menopause remedy too. So it can have those hot flashes. So you might want to read all 4 of those remedies.
Okay. And where would you suggest they're reading about these?
In the Materia Medica. So the Materia Medica is like a dictionary of remedies. Okay, so this is the Materia Medica. So this is the one that I love, Dr. Murphy's. This is the 4th edition.
Yes, we do carry his Materia Medica and repertory.
Nice. Oh, yes. I love that. So it's a dictionary. You see how big it is? This one has 1,500 remedies in it. And you just flip in there and you find Sepia, you find Pulsatilla, find Lachesis, find ammonium carb. Get a notebook, piece of paper, and make a note at the top, Lachesis, and write down every symptom that you have that you see in the Lachesis picture, and then do the same thing for each remedy. The longest list wins. You go there first.
Viewers, I'm talking to you here. Wouldn't you guys love if Melissa taught on how to use that Materia Medica? Maybe go through a case or a condition. Yes, and the repertory. I think that would be a great video. So
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're going to get her back for that. Is there a specific keynote on ammonium carb? Because I know we hear that one a lot with menopause.
I don't have it memorized. I'm sure there is. I don't have it memorized. But the reason I say ammonium carb is the Banerjis like that one the most.
Okay.
And I see that it works a lot in menopause.
Okay. So even for fatigue, migraines, no libido, all the things.
Just so you know how the Banerjis work. They work on pathology and diagnoses. And, we don't really diagnose menopause, but when menopause is the thing, they say ammonium carb is number one for that. Dr. Murphy really leaned more towards Lachesis, and then the hot flashes is the main keynote for Lachesis.
Okay.
Yeah, in
So
menopause.
if you were using ammonium carb for menopause and a lot of these symptoms, would you be giving it the 6 to 8 weeks of using it before reevaluating?
Absolutely. 8 weeks, 200C once or twice a day for 8 weeks. Depends on how sensitive you are. I'm very sensitive to remedies. I use ammonium carb, and I literally only need one dose. And this is just me, y'all. So I'm very sensitive to remedies. So I take it as needed because I take one dose and I have like a bunch of hot flashes and then they go away for weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then when they come back, I take another dose. And yes, eventually I'm going to get to where I don't have them anymore and I don't have any other menopausal symptoms.
That's
All
great.
the other things that are happening, I don't have.
And so you're noticing those hot flashes, they're further and further apart.
That's right. Less frequent, less severe. I tried sulfur and all kind of stuff, and ammonium carb seems to be the one for me.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. All right. The next question, if the vaginal lining has thinned and gets torn from intercourse, what remedy and potency and frequency do you suggest?
That's a hard one. So I don't have a protocol I didn't find a protocol on it. I don't have a protocol for that. And would probably just need to sit down with you and take your whole case and figure out what's happening. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that would need a deeper dig into your whole case.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you're watching and that's you, melissacrenshaw.com, you can even do a free 15-minute quick call with her just to see if you'd be a good fit for each other and ask a few more questions, give her a little more information. All right, next question. We have a question about the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle. So how can I get through this phase without being so irritable?
So Pulsatilla or Sepia. And the difference to me to begin with would be Pulsatilla would be more for the younger girl or young woman who's never been on birth control and never had children. And if you've ever been on birth control method pills or have had children, then I would start with Sepia. And that doesn't mean that if you are older and have had children or have used birth control that you can't use Pulsatilla, but that's just where I start. Okay.
And does it really matter which phase you're in? If you're really irritable, it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. All right, next question. How about emotional ups and downs? One minute you're laughing, then you're crying, then you're like, don't touch me.
Emotional ups and downs, especially with hormones, right? You're talking about like monthly or just always? We're talking about menopause and
monthly.
Yeah. Okay. I think that would still be a Sepia or a Pulsatilla, possibly Ignatia.
I was going to ask you about Ignatia. That's been a lifesaver for me and a lot of people I know. We love Ignatia.
I would look at Ignatia. And you can use Sepia and Ignatia, not at the same time in the mouth, but separately.
Okay. So would you use Ignatia more like, today I'm having a very emotional day, so I'm going to use Ignatia today, while in the background I'm using Sepia?
I would use both every day.
Oh.
I would use both every day until you more even keel, right? Until you're more regular. But also, let's don't forget about that Cyclease.
Right.
The Cyclease mood one, right? Or the Cyclease menopause one. So that might be helpful.
Yep. All right. So next question is, how can you support your hormones best with homeopathy?
So first of all, ladies, young ladies, all ladies and men, you need to avoid endocrine disruptors. So like your plastics, BPA, soy, fragrance. Look at your cleaning supplies, your cosmetics, your hair stuff, everything that you use in your house. Look at the ingredients. If it says fragrance, chuck it. Get something different. That disrupts your hormones. And I'll tell you a very quick, funny story. My daughter loves all the smells. She loves to buy all the smelly things. And I'm like, listen, honey, I have spent a long time trying to make sure my hormones are balanced. You're not going to mess with my hormones because you want to smell stuff. You can mess up your hormones when you move out.
Yes.
So, yeah, most beauty products have fragrance and all kind of stuff in them that can disrupt hormones. Fire retardants, lead, arsenic, mercury, pesticides, and most conventional cleaning products. So that's a lot. And you can find a full list on drax.com. I love his information, his website. You can just search the word endocrine disruptors or endocrine on his website and see the full list and see where you can find, what these things are in. Arsenic, can be in your regular water, your tap water, city water. So the next thing is, don't let that list overwhelm you. Like, you can just be surrounded by this stuff and not feel like you can't do anything about it. Take baby steps. Get rid of the plastic stuff in your home, or change your cosmetic, whatever. One thing. Choose one thing and get there slowly. And then if you're having no symptoms and you just want to have healthy hormones, then work with a homeopath to use your constitutional remedy. It just strengthens your overall body, just helps you to stay healthy. And then move your body often. So we need to exercise, and we need good sleep, sunshine, fresh air. Get your bare feet in the grass. All these things are little baby step things you can do one at a time to help you have healthy hormones.
Right. Great advice. And if you're watching and you have a question that's not covered yet, feel free to type it in the comments. We'll see if we can get to it at the end if there's time. The next question that we have, Melissa, is there ever a time when it's appropriate, which I think you may have already addressed this, but is there ever a time when it's appropriate to give a girl or woman who has not had children sepia?
Yeah, you can. Yep, you just can. But it's not, if the picture fits, then I would use it. I don't generally use it in children, but a young woman, an adult young woman who has not had children, has never been on birth control, yes, could still benefit from sepia. It's probably just not going to be the first one that I go to.
Okay. Next question. I struggle with insomnia a week prior to my cycle. What remedy should I be doing about that?
So it really depends on the whole picture and what else is presenting with the insomnia. But you could try the sleep remedies that we discussed in our Facebook Live. We did one on sleep, you and I, Carrie. And then you have that SleepCalm.
Yes, this is great.
That might be very helpful. I love that one too. Good. The Facebook Live that we did on sleep remedies is on YouTube, most likely.
Yes, you should be able to find it there. I know we talk a lot about Coffea. I love to leave this on my nightstand because you never know when you're going to need it, even with a dose ready in the cap.
Yes.
In case it's the middle of the night thing. But
yeah, it's good.
Okay. Next question. Is there a remedy for someone who tries to eat healthy and exercise, but doesn't see any pounds coming off after menopause? Joette says to try Nat 6X before or after eating, and we want to see what Melissa says.
So cute. I love that. Joette certainly has a lot of experience, and that is definitely worth a try. I do trust Joette and what she says. And I personally, in my practice, I would think of going a little bit deeper into that and looking at the whole picture. But again, the main menopause remedies, Ammonium Carb and Lachesis, are great places to start.
Okay. Do you have time for a couple more? Because a couple more came in. Okay. Yep. One question: is there a PCOS protocol?
Yes, that is Sepia. So we call it Sepia, and it's conium 3C, so conium maculatum 3C mixed with sepia 6C. So it's Sepia. 2 different potencies though, mixed together twice per day, and ammonium carb 200C every other day. And that is the Banerji Protocol for PCOS.
Great. And we will put all of these remedy names in comments below after the video's over with timestamps, so you can go back and just watch the portion that you maybe want to re-listen to and know which remedies we were talking about. Another question is, my doctor started me on a medication for endometriosis. About a week after starting this medication, I'm experiencing terrible headaches and frequent hot flashes. Help. Not really a question, but
so I can never tell you to stop taking medications. And you don't have to stop. You could use homeopathy along with the medication, but if the medication is causing the hot flashes, and what was the other symptom?
Headaches.
Then you've got a maintaining cause. And that's what we call it. So you can use homeopathy for the hot flashes and the headaches, but we can't expect homeopathy to uproot a condition that we're continuing to take something that's causing the condition.
Right.
So I would use the, isn't there a Banerji Protocol for endometriosis? I feel like there is.
I think you're right.
I feel like there is. Oh, I bet I have it. Oh, I bet I have it right here.
I only have the part
It
2 in
is.
front of me.
Oh, that's the Consepia. Endometriosis is Consepia.
Okay.
Also, the same one that we just said.
It says in the part 2 book, endometriosis pelvic staphysagria.
Okay, that sounds right too.
So how would you know whether to use the Consepia or this?
I would follow the Banerji book. My note right here comes from a class that I took, and I would absolutely go to the Banerji book first.
Okay.
So whatever they say there would be first. And so I would treat the endometriosis with homeopathy if it's safe, possible to do so and come off the medication. But you have to talk to the prescriber about coming off the medication. That's between you and them. I can't tell you to stop it. But do you understand that if the medication is causing the problem, there's that maintaining cause. And yeah, you can probably get some relief with homeopathy, but you're just it's not the best way to go about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to irritability. About 2 weeks out of every month, I feel annoyed about everything. People would say I seem fine, but it's all on the inside. What can I do when I'm feeling this way?
Oh, it's all on the inside. So my first thought was sepia because it's cyclical, right? And it probably goes along with your cycle. Sepia would be a great one for that. But then when you said it's all on the inside, people would say that you seem fine. Are you holding this in? Because Nat Mur holds it all in. Nat Mur doesn't let it show, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be seen. They don't want attention. They crave salt. They might have dry skin, lots of dryness in the body. They might, but so Nat Mur is the water balancer. So it could be that they're too wet, wherever. Watery eyes, watery nose, dripping. They might be very sweaty, but usually it's dry with women. It's dry skin, dryness everywhere, constipation. And then when you've got that where you're irritated, but you hold it in, that's such a Nat Mur. So constipation is, you think about it's held in. Nat Mur holds everything in.
Okay, that's great. Would you be using that in a 200?
Oh, no, sorry. The thing popped. No, I would do a 6X twice a day, 2 or 3 times a day.
Okay. All right, good. And you'd probably do that for a whole cycle, or?
I would do it. Yeah, I would do it for 8 weeks. So I would do it every day for 8 weeks and then reassess how often and how severe this is happening, because our goal would be to normalize that to where you're not getting that irritable and holding it in. We need to be able to safely and appropriately let things out. It's okay to show your emotions. So those of us that, and I say us, that hold our emotions in because we don't want anybody to see us, cry or upset or whatever. We need to get that normalized where we can, it's okay to cry and be upset as long as we're being appropriate about it, right? We're not throwing dishes and running,
right,
being crazy. But yeah.
Okay.
would do it long term.
Two last questions, if we can fit them in. If you take Sepia once or twice a day for a week and then get a period 10 days later, which is much sooner than you should have started, is that a sign that you're taking it Sepia too often?
Yeah, I would think so. If your periods were regular and become irregular when you're taking sepia, I would definitely back off.
Okay.
I like to start with sepia once a week and just see how the person does.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the last question, I have fibrocystic breasts. Which remedy can I take when they're so tender?
So the Banerji Protocol for fibrocystic breasts is Bryonia 200 every other day, or Bryonia 30C twice per day, and Arnica 30C twice per day. So that doesn't mean mixed together, but it means separately. So you choose which Bryonia you want and take the Arnica 30C twice per day.
Okay, great. That wraps it up. If you found the video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Thank you so much, Melissa.
You're so welcome.
Once again, you can visit Melissa online at melissacrenshaw.com or visit TapRoots in store in Lynchburg, Virginia, or online at taprootsva.com. And we will see you next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.